All right, chat, we're live. How's it going? How are you doing? I myself found a new hobby. I'm watching documentaries about ships and how life used to be on a ship. And it's fascinating to think that the tropics and the Caribbeans now are a place of luxury and paradise, and back then they were a place of horror and dread. It's really interesting, yeah. A lot of, like, for instance, did you know that the wheel on a ship is not something that appeared until the late stages of the pirate era? Like, ships didn't have wheels in the beginning. It's really interesting. Anyway, right, this is what I do when everything that's supposed to be entertainment doesn't exist. But, like, for instance, video games. What video game came out this month? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, it's what I need to do. Mental health, haircut. I have a dating policy. Treat the hair coloring like a check engine. Yeah. I do agree with the symbolism. I gotta say, it depends on the place you're in. Because, like, if you're in Romania and you find a woman that has colorful hair, it doesn't mean that she's into social justice. Like, here is just a fashion statement. So, some women have colored hair. Very interesting, old ladies. Old ladies usually have colored hair in my country because they don't like seeing their hair going white. So, like, they will color it in various, purple, blue, or stuff like that. And it's got nothing to do with social justice. Like, they're not woke. They don't even know the ideology, but they color their hair. However, yeah, no, like, if you're a recruiter, if you're in a job and you see a person with rainbow hair, it's the same like seeing a skinhead. Like, literally the same. It's very interesting because, like, see, this is the problem with leftist ideology. When they say tolerance, they don't actually mean the word tolerance. Like when they say tolerance, they're saying it in a subversive way just so you drop your guard. They don't actually preach tolerance at all. They're extremely intolerant, right? Like, they will say, oh, you shouldn't judge a person by appearance. But they will judge a skinhead, right? Like, they will say, oh, well, maybe this person just likes to have their head shaved, or maybe this person has leukemia. No, they will say, no, this person is a Nazi, until proven otherwise, right? And so, if you do the same, and you're looking at a woman that has rainbow-colored hair, and you're like, okay, she's a woke, deranged person, they'll be like, well, how do you know? Did you talk to her? Like, what if she isn't? And you're like, well, okay, like, you want me to be tolerant, but you won't be tolerant. This is the problem with tolerance, like, if it's not both ways, if it's not genuine, it doesn't exist, and unfortunately, society does need a level of tolerance. Like, you do need to have it, but I think, like, the woke has set society backwards several decades because of their subversion of the concept of tolerance. South of Midnight came out. Oh, yeah, I saw the cringe. Holy fucking shit. Like, that was just, oh. Anyway, I saw Asmongold being featured in a Netflix documentary. That was interesting. Oh, look,
I feel like fat influencers die more often than emo influencers, and that's really saying a lot.
Fat acceptance is...
Yeah, I mean, this is, like, something that, it's a no-brainer. Like, when did this actually become controversial? Right? Like, I can prove that most people aren't fat accepting unless they're indoctrinated. And what I mean by this, right? Imagine you go to a friend of yours and you see that they have a morbidly obese cat. Like not a cat that's just fat, like a cat that is so fat it can't walk properly, right? Like, what would your conclusion be? You'd say, well, that's animal abuse. Right? Like that's like the natural instinct. It's like, well, if the cat can't walk, and it's obviously, like, disabilitated by the level of fat, if the owner keeps feeding it, then the owner is doing animal abuse. Like, you look at the cat with pity, and you're like, what is going on, right? If you go to a person that has, like, a 1-year-old child, and the 1-year-old child is already, like, morbidly obese, like, you'd ask the parents, like, what the fuck are you doing? Now, here's the thing, grown people in a society that doesn't have public health care, I don't care. Like, okay, this person is fat. All right, she's not my friend, she's not my wife, she's not my daughter, she's not related to me. Like, who the fuck am I to ruin the harmony, to destroy the social fabric of harmony just to be a chicken little shit with her, right? Like, what does that end up? Nothing. Like, she's going to stop it? No. And secondly, like, why would I even want her to stop? It's not my fucking business. If she stops tomorrow, my life doesn't fucking improve, right? If she keeps it up, my life remains the same. Again, not a family member, not a friend, no one that I know. If she wants to be like this, go on, right? But here's the problem. She doesn't like it. No, she now ruins my harmony. Like, she goes out of her way to piss me off. Because she's not just fat. No, she's telling me that I have to pretend that this is beautiful. Now she's making the mistake. She's becoming the problem. Like, that is the problem here. It's not tolerance or acceptance. It's that she's not tolerant. She's not accepting. Like, I'm leaving her the fuck alone. Now, I have my judgment about this situation, right? And I also have, like, my preferences when it comes to aesthetics, but those are mine. I keep them to myself. I don't go and start bombarding her with them or lecture her. No, like, I keep it to myself. But she is telling me, no, V, like, you need to speak out and you need to say that I'm beautiful. You need to say that my lifestyle is healthy. And it's like, well, I don't like to lie. And this is, like, the problem with the fat acceptance movement. It's not the fact that, oh, people are tolerant. No, because, like, in real life, like, yeah, you should maintain social harmony. You should allow someone that you don't know, is none of your fucking business, right? And they're living their life that way. Like, that's their job. That's their problem, And you're allowing that, but, like, they're not reciprocating. It's not a two-way street. Like, they're ruining your harmony. Tolerance is not legally forcing her into weight loss. It's a little bit more complex, right? Because if you have a public healthcare system, the public healthcare has limits. It's not infinite. Like, just because you don't see how much money the public hospital has, most people think, well, you go to a public hospital, like, you're always going to get served, right? But the reality is, like, no, they have finite resources. And so, if I watch my health, and I'm sure that I live a life where I maintain fitness, and I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything, like drugs or something like that would harm my health, and I try having, like, a normal, healthy life, why is it that, I maintain my cash so that I don't become a burden, but then another person decides to live a life of unhealth, and then I have to pay for them? Like, what? Why is it fair? How is it ethical that I need to pay for someone else? And at the same time, like, I'm making sure that I live my life in a way that other people don't pay for me. Like, where's the balance in that? Hello, Tomcat. Well, it's also the definition of fat, right? Because it's one thing when you're a person with a belly, and it's another thing when you're a person that is disabilitated in bed and just can't move anymore because they're, like, literally that fat to the point where if they climb a bunch of stairs, they feel like dying. Like, that person, you gotta wonder, it's like, how are they going to get a job? How can they work? And why do they think that's healthy? And this is what Asmongold is saying. Like, fat influencers are dying is not something new. Like, it's something that I think, like, it was discussed 3 years ago.
I feel like fat influencers die more often than emo influencers, and that's really saying a lot.
Fat acceptance is a cult.
I think, like, the difference is that emo influencers, they do it because it's edgy. Like, this is something that a lot of moral busybodies fail to understand. Like, there are people that like certain things just because they're edgy. Like, people are attracted, it's the story in the Bible with Adam and Eve and eating the fucking apple. Why? Because it's literally the only thing they're not allowed to do. Right? So, like, there are individuals, especially young people, that will do the things they're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to have music about suicide. They don't actually want to commit the act. It's just like, well, they're not allowed, so they like that. Like, people look weird towards that, so that's why they do it, specifically just to be chicken little shit. But with the fat acceptance stuff, like, no, they genuinely want to live the lifestyle.
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy. And I am
See, like, this is the thing. Why is it that when you say something like this, you don't realize how cringe it is? Like, if I was to say about myself that I'm very intelligent, or that I'm very wise, like, normally in civilized society, we don't compliment ourselves. We let other people compliment us. What you could do, right, if you genuinely, wanted to be objective about it, you would show a picture of another fat person and you show, look how beautiful she is. Like, that would actually seem less cringe. But, like, what you're doing here is called narcissism. If you see a guy that's, like, covered in pimples, and like, oh, ladies, I'm such a catch. Like, like, let other people compliment you. If you compliment yourself all the time, when can other people step in?
100% glorifying obesity.
I want to inspire big girls all over the world. This is what I manifest.
There's actually a fable in Romania. We got a fable based around this. Like, our ancestors were so fucking wise, they predicted this 100 years in the past. The fable is about a fox, right? And the fox, she wanted to catch fish. And what she did is, like, it was a winter, it was famine. And so she went to the lake, and she cut a hole in the lake, and she used her tail as bait. But unfortunately, the lake froze, and the fox ripped its tail. So now she was ugly, all the other foxes were beautiful. All the other foxes were mesmerized, they had fabulous tails. But this fox had no tail, so she tried to tell the other foxes that she actually feels a lot better with no tail, because if a bear tries to catch her, it has no tail to bite, right? Like, she can run faster and the bear can't grab onto something. And so, like, all the other foxes should also rip off their tails, because when they run away from the bear, then, But the other foxes, like, this is an interesting thing, because usually in fables, like, the foxes are cunning and clever. So in this fable, you have a fox that's cunning and clever trying to outfox other foxes. And the other foxes tell, no, fuck off. You ripped your tail, and now you want us to look ugly like you. We know what you're doing. We see that shit. It's not about bears. You don't fucking care about us. You just don't wanna... You just don't wanna have... To go through public looking like you're the only one without a tail. There's a reason why they call it the Pride movement. My fucking god, Robot, you're a modern day Diogenes. That's actually pretty fucking spot on. Yes, they do call it the Pride movement. I kind of get it, like, why it was called the Pride movement, but you would think, like, at some point it would be good optics if you don't call your movement after a cardinal sin, this like the idea was you shouldn't, okay, so their idea, and I kind of get it, is you're born gay, right? So like, if we are to assume that people are born gay, now is it debunkable that people are born gay? Yes and no. Like why is it true that some people can be born gay? Well, there is nothing on this earth that would get me to enjoy sucking dick. Like, the very concept is repulsive for me. It's disgusting. Now, I could be persuaded if someone pays me $2 million, right? Like you can actually ask a straight person, you pay them $2 million, suck dick, or they're constrained, like you get into prison, and your cellmate is Big Booba, right? Like you can persuade someone to do the act, but, like, they're definitely not going to enjoy it. Like, they're going to be repulsed by it, right? And so, like, there's nothing that can happen that would change my mindset. There's absolutely nothing, like, no ideology, no matter how much I try, that even if I train myself, like, if someone was to say, V, I give you $10 million, but you need to not just do it, but you need to enjoy sucking dick, right? It wouldn't work. It wouldn't happen. Nothing that I do would change this thing. And so the other assumption is, like, okay, well, then some people are born to be gay. Like they're born different, and for them it's arousing right? Like they just look at another penis and they get aroused. Like, it's not rational. The same way that I get aroused when I look at big tits. You know, like, it's not rational. I can't explain why big tits make me aroused. It's just this. And so, like, if we assume this, that it's like, okay, well, some people can be born gay. Although that's not true either. Like, how do we know it's not true? Well, we know because there are identical twins that share the exact same genome. And then, one of them is gay, one of them is not. Like, that doesn't make sense, right? So, like, if both answers are false, like, people aren't born gay, but people can't become gay, then what is the actual question? And I think, like, it's kind of like diabetes and other genetic predispositions. Like, you're predisposed of developing it based on social factors. So, like, you have the predisposition that maybe something happens when you're a teenager. You know, like, we know that people who are abused can become gay. Maybe they're exposed to some imagery or whatever, you know. But the idea is, like, once you're gay, you can't ungay yourself. That's the idea, right? So, like, if a person is gay and they can't ungay themselves, then persecuting them doesn't feel justified. Why? Because, well, in the future, it can be your son. You know, it can be your grandson, can be your brother. It's like, okay, well, you gotta be a little bit more accepting. But you know, they're looking at it and they're saying, all right, well, we shouldn't be ashamed of this, right? Because, like, it's not something that we did. Like, it's not something that we can control. It's just an attraction, okay? And so you shouldn't be ashamed for being who you are. And they're reversing it, and it's like, well, you should be proud. And then they call it the pride movement, which, again, is like a cardinal sin. Like it's one thing to want to exist in a society where it's accepted, like the Spartans, for instance, or Japan, or many other places, like outside of Christianity. Like, they accepted gay people. It's like, okay, well, they exist, right? But they wouldn't promote gayness. Like, they wouldn't go out of their way to put the pride flag on the Senate in Rome. Like they wouldn't use it as a national identity where they have, like, the embassies of Japan, like, hoisting the pride flag. Like, that is the main difference between the pride movement and the fact that gay people exist. Like, you can have a nation where the gay people are persecuted, like Russia, for instance, or Hungary, right? Like, they exist. They're not persecuted, but they're not promoted either. Like, you don't have, like, their personhood transformed into this identity as if it's a profession, as if it's like, you know, when you say PhD, doctor, such and such, you now say, well, I am he, him, name, right? Like, funny how it's okay to make fun with guys with a foot fetish. Well, that's the thing. In Japan, it's okay to make fun of gay people. Like, it's okay to make fun of blonde women. It's okay to make fun of a lot of things. Like, usually things that don't fit the pattern is okay to make fun of. No one freaks out if you do that. Now, it depends, you know, on the context. Like, sometimes it can be okay. Other times it can not, you know. Like, if you're going to be an asshole in public, like, people are going to spit on you. If you're breaking the social harmony just like that. But if you're in a private affair and you're at the party and it's a friend of yours and you're making fun, or you're making fun in general without targeting a single person, again, context is key. When you do it, how you do it, it matters. But there is no more nuance in our culture. There's, like, you know, like, for instance, saying the N-word is never accepted. It's like, okay, but, like, what if you're reporting on the news? What if it's a rap lyric? What if you're writing the N-word when you want to ban something? What if it's just fucking funny? What if it's just fucking funny? Just look at the videos from movies from 90s and the early 2000s in Hollywood. And there's a lot of examples where people dropping the N-word casually. No one fucking died. On the Aspen video you are watching, skip to 4 minutes and 50 seconds. We're probably going to reach that point, Jacob. Should be okay for everyone to make fun of everything. I fucking agree. I think words are just words. Well, actually, you know, like, there's slander and libel, which is fair. But, like, we should focus on allowing more things to be made fun of rather than less.
This is what I manifest. These are the people, by the way, that are talking about how Stellar Blade has unrealistic proportions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These are the people...
And not only that, they don't complain about Kratos. You know, I actually noticed something very fascinating about the My Hero Academia community. A lot of people complain about the way the female characters in My Hero Academia are dressed. Like, there was even a major controversy because, like, they had a beauty pageant, and one of the characters there, which had big tits, had a cleavage, and they all freaked out, right? Yet, in the first episode of My Hero Academia, literally the first, like, you can't miss it, Deku does training, and he is shirtless, and he is jacked. Like, he is just muscular, he's ripped. They don't complain about that. And you gotta wonder, well, hold on a little bit. Like, surely if you're a moral person and you do it for morality, you would complain about that, but they don't. Which means it's not the morality they have an issue with, it's something else. And that other thing is probably what Asmongold is saying here. They're narcissists, and they hate the concept of beauty. Like, the very standard of beauty horrifies them, and they think that if they remove it from the world, they will replace it. And not only that, but, like, these people have given up on beauty altogether. Like, why would you shave your head like this? Why would you wear earrings like this? Like, they have declared war on aesthetics. And I'm not saying about this particular lady. Like, in general, you see individuals, and it's part of the ideology. That's why they do it. It's part of the ideology that, you know, beauty is subjective, which kind of is, but they take it to the fucking extreme. Like, they take it to the other extreme. Yeah, beauty is subjective, but, like, at the same time, there is a standard, though. You know, like, music is subjective, but, like, if you have a 5-year-old just ramming his fists in a piano, that's not fucking music. And they managed to, like, find the opposite extreme. And they believe that beauty is also is created by society, which is true, yeah, but it happens naturally. You can't force it. Like there are times in society where, you know, people were aroused by a knee, or by short hair, or by long hair, or whatever the fuck, you know, but it happens naturally. No one like gets in a room, the patriarchy doesn't gather, and it's like, all right, well, today this is what we like. And this is the problem with their ideology. It's an ideology of extreme and excesses. They have declared war on Christianity, which Christianity was also an excess when they grew up. And they thought, okay, well, if we go into the opposite extreme, we don't try to find balance, we don't try to find something in the middle. No, we go into the opposite extreme, then we're going to have a good life. And the answer is no, you don't. But like, look at what they're doing. It's literally like, when I say Christianity, I don't mean like the Christianity in Russia or the Christianity in Hungary. No, I mean the Christianity in the Bush era. You know, those mentally unhinged individuals that thought that Pokemon is satanic and that video games are murder simulators and that evolutionism is wrong as a scientific field. Even though it's taught everywhere on Earth, including Japan, China, like all the other nations on planet Earth have agreed that evolutionism is real. We already went through Lysenkoism because some idiot denied it. And they're like, no, actually, we're going to just push creationism, even though it has, like, no scientific applications, even though, like, microbiology is based on evolution. No, we're just, like, really hardcore Christian, and we know that the Earth is 6,000 years old. Even though, like, the rest of the fucking planet Earth doesn't agree with that, right? Like, those people I'm the one that I'm talking about. And like, they delve themselves into superstition and mysticism and batshit crazy idea because they base themselves on sola scriptura. I'm not going to even go into that again, but their kids went, well, if we go into the opposite fucking direction, like, literally the opposite, and we build satanic temples, And we declare war on the concept of aesthetics, we declare war on the concept of beauty, we declare war on gender and everything else that they believe we're going to create a good society. Well, turns out no. Turns out it doesn't work that way. You can't just look at an ideology, reverse everything, and then say it's good. It's like, imagine if you look at the woke ideology and you revert everything. Like, you go into the opposite extreme. Do you create a healthy society? No.
That are shaming cosplay girls on Twitter.
It's every single day.
Dead at 37.
Choo choo.
Well, this guy is still alive. I just gotta say, you know, like, he did good for himself.
Choo choo.
See, the difference between that guy, like there's also a difference between, what's his name? Avocado, right? Nick Avocado, the choo-choo guy. The difference between him and these other girls is that he doesn't try to tell you to be like him. The difference between him is like, well, he's playing it as a joke. Like it's comedy, right? Boogie did that as well. That's why, like, they don't get the same flack. That's why they don't get the same criticism. And it's probably why they don't fucking have the same karma either.
It's bad, bro. It's real bad.
I'm fat and I'm sexy.
I'm fat and I'm...
Yeah, again, like the narcissism. It's like me saying I'm 1'4" and I'm sexy. You know, like, why? If I keep complimenting myself, when would other people manage to compliment me as well?
Sexy.
Sure,
Keep saying it. Maybe one day it'll be true.
beauty is in the
Like, notice how Aspergold doesn't say he's sexy, right?
eye of the beholder, but I don't know about you. I don't find any sexiness in contributing to the statistics that obesity is the leading cause of death in the US. Very
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fat. Like, there's guys that like fat chicks for sure.
To be fair, if I want to play devil's advocate, even though I shouldn't, it's kind of difficult to measure death by obesity, right? Because, like, the fat doesn't kill you. Like, what kills you are diseases associated with obesity, such as diabetes, heart attacks, you know, that type of thing. And sure, you know, like, sometimes you can say, well, this person is fat, so, like, he had the cholesterol that clogged his coronary artery. But I seen people that weren't fat, and yet they still had cholesterol clog their coronary arteries. So if you want to really play devil's advocate, you can do that. But, like, the numbers in the United States are definitely insane. And so, you know, you can't just hand wave it to that. You can say, well, okay, there are some cases where maybe, but... When they walk down the street and the people start screaming, wail, etc., does she feel confident then to... Well, the people actually do that. You know, like, I don't know how America is like, but if I see a morbidly obese person on the street, I don't scream fat at them. Again, like, they're not my friend, they're not my relative, they're not my dad, they're not my mom, they're not my son. Now, if it's my son, yeah, I would freak out. I'd be like, well, dude, you want me to take you to the hospital? Like, you're going up a flight of stairs and you're gasping for breath. Like, when are you going to go on a diet? Like, how long are you going to wait? When you can't move in bed, will that be the day? Like, when exactly are you going to stop eating? Like, okay? Like, isn't that normal? Like, if it's your son, yeah, you care. Sure. If it's your dad, you would be the same. I would be like, Dad, you have two choices. Number one, you stop fucking eating and you go to the gym. Number two, if you keep it up, I'm going to leave you alone. Like, shit, it's your choice, right? But, like, don't expect me to come and wipe your ass when you can't get out of bed. Because I'm not doing that shit. Right? Like that, doesn't that make sense? If it's your family, then you care. If it's not your family, you don't give a shit. Don't they have families? What are their families doing? But it's true, you know, it's not like, oh my god, or something like, it's absolutely true. Like, it's one thing when a person gets stuck in bed, it gets bedridden because of some accident or, you know, some illness that they didn't ask for. And it's another thing when someone gets bedridden because of their decisions. Especially when you're telling them, it's like, dude, you need to stop. And they keep going. Well, whose fault is it then? I know a guy that lived 100 and smoked from 3, so smoking is healthy. Oh my goodness. No, that's... Do you know, like, Chernobyl, when it exploded, like, there were people within Chernobyl that survived and didn't get cancer? Like, it doesn't work that way. That is something called, like, risk assessment. And basically, like, if you manage to survive an event, doesn't mean that other people should emulate. Like there are people that I saw at the hospital. They ate poison mushrooms, right? They went to a party. Because I remember this case. It was actually horrifying. They went to a party, a wedding. And someone cooked with poison mushrooms. They didn't do it on purpose. It's just like they used mushrooms from the forest and they weren't checked. And so they poisoned everyone. And 4 people died. But like the rest survived, right? And so, again, the smoking allegory, like we know which part of smoking harms. Like we know what it does and why. And so like it's not a matter of faith or belief. It's the simple fact, like, well, if you do this, bad things can happen to you. Yeah, you get like a lot of interesting stories when you go to the hospital. Raiding Terror. I actually missed you. Hi, long time no super chat. V, does your boy Johnny deserve his sentence with his new charges, with the new thing he was charged with for he did back in November? Oh my fucking god. If I answer that, I will get in big trouble. Big trouble. Really big. Okay, fine. Let's talk a little bit about Johnny Somali. See, this is the problem when you have the international community. Like when you have people that are grown in another country with a different mindset and a different ideology. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I think would happen, but I'll tell you what would happen if Johnny Somali came to Romania and pulled this shit. So from my understanding, Johnny Somali used to do live streaming with text to chat, right? And so like people would, you know how you go out on the street with a camera or a phone and people would send like $5 and then the text to chat would be like N-word. You know, like in order to cause controversy, in order to usually get the streamer in trouble. Because that's what happens. Like when Andy Worski went to America and he had the gun, and people were like sending super chats to antagonize the cop to get him into trouble, right? Anyway, Johnny Somali goes into this playground, and people are sending super chats so that he sends pedophilic messages to the children that were there. Now, it's illegal in South Korea because the law clearly states that you should have known. Like, given that he is a streamer, given that he knows the type of content people are sending him, and due to the fact that he didn't shut off the stream, didn't do any due diligence, right? Because, like, let's assume that you're stupid enough not to prevent this. Like you really just don't think. You know, you're focused on your streaming. You accidentally go into an arcade where there's kids, and someone just like sends you a super chat that has pedophilic messages so that the kids hear it. Well, you immediately shut it down, right? Like you immediately just disappear. Like you just fuck off. I don't know, like, if the excuse is that, well, the stream was, like, the messages were in Korean and he doesn't understand Korean. I don't know that. Anyway, like, this is happening in South Korea. Now here's the difference of what would happen in Romania, right? He would get a correction applied on the spot. Like, there wouldn't be police, there wouldn't be a judge, there wouldn't be a trial. But I guarantee to you that he would never do this again, and he would regret it. And this is like Eastern European mentality. Like he wouldn't, like, the very very fact that it took so many months for this to even be brought up, like you would notice the next time he streams. You would look at his face and you would know that something happened. And you may put it, you may put two and two together. You may notice, okay, well, the moment that message was displayed, the moment that pedophilic message was displayed, the stream cut. And then the next time he appears, he is probably in a hospital, right? But there's no police. There's no, like, oh, he's going to spend 20 years in prison. It's just like, he's not going to do it again. I guarantee to you. Right? Oh, no. Like, I saw what happens when he gets jumped on stream. No, like, if you come into Romania and you display pedophilic messages next to children and their parents are there, like, trust me, like what I saw happen to him on several streams, it would be a gentle massage, right? Like, it would be, yeah, a correction, like, no, I don't know, like, what you mean about the Japanese cartoons. A correction is what we called in the Soviet Union. Sorry, not the Soviet Union, the Socialist Republic, right? So like, the police would often apply corrections. Why? Because incarceration is expensive. And usually people learn very fast. Yeah, see, Bogdan Lupu is from my country, and he agrees with my take. Like, the punishment would be applied instantly. Just, like, you wouldn't even know what happened. You would beg for the police to come up. Like, that actually happened in Russia, right? Like, there were a couple of immigrants that went to Russia, and they thought that they landed in Germany. So they went into a nightclub and started inappropriately touching some of the ladies. They were begging for the cops to arrive. I'm not even kidding. Like all of a sudden you notice that, teach people not to rape is very effective in Russia. Yeah, So like, my take with the whole Johnny situation, does he deserve it? Well, when you add extra charges, yes. Like, before adding the extra charges, no. I don't think he deserves 20 years. I thought that he should get 5. With the extra charges, I mean, fuck, I don't know. To be honest, though, it really depends in which country you are. I think in my country, I would have to look at the penal code. Like, what he did isn't a crime. But it's definitely, again, correction worthy. Like, the people in the general vicinity would aggro if you do that next to kids. And Romanians are very tolerant and hospitable people. But if you start, like, having a phone and you're issuing pedophilic messages next to kids, I don't even know if you can explain. Like, even if you were to try to explain to the father, hold on, like, this is a stream. No. Yeah, in some places you hope the police arrives before the local posse. And in his situation, the local posse was already there, aka the parents of the kids. They may give him 20 years to set an example. To be fair, I actually wonder, like, why don't I really like the 20-year shit? And I came to the conclusion it's like, well, I generally don't think, like, the current punishment system is accurate. Like, if he was in Saudi Arabia, and he got, like, some lashes and shit, like, that would also be more effective with less taxpayer money spent. But it is what it is, Educational beating? No, correction is a lot better. It's like, look, sometimes people are in their ways, right? Like, sometimes people aren't aligned correctly with the rest of society. And you apply a correction so that they get realigned. I think, like, our word makes a lot more sense. It's usually communist shit is more sanitized in nature, right? Like, you sanitize the way you speak a lot better. Singapore does lashes. Yeah, see, no, like, I generally I think, like, this is my most controversial take when it comes to the judicial system. I think, like, there's several types of criminals. Usually when you think in black and white, or you categorize everyone under the same brush, you end up making mistakes. I personally think that there's several types of criminals. So, the first type of criminal are people that commit crime out of necessity. And so, if you're born in a neighborhood where there's literally no jobs, right? You're born in that neighborhood, there's gangs everywhere. Like, there's a lot of places like that in the United States. Why? Well, it was a mining town. It was a place with a factory, and then the factory closed, or the mine shut down, and you still have people that live there. But there's nothing. Like, literally, unironically, there's nothing. You can't get a job there. And so, like, what are those people going to do? Well, they're going to go into a life of crime. And so, like, those people, they're criminals, right? But I would say they're a different type of criminals than the criminals that do it for pleasure, for instance. Like, there are people that commit crime out of pleasure, like rapists. But even like there may be scammers, you know, like people that enjoy doing the crime. And then there's the people that don't have the mental capacity not to be criminals. You know, like actual monsters, like actual psychopaths, like serial killers and shit. And so when you realize, well, actually you can treat everyone differently, right? Like the people that do it for pleasure. I think like the Saudi Arabian method or the correction method works. The people that do it out of necessity, I don't think you can. Like you lock them up, okay. But then when they go out, like, what do? Like, they're back in the original place. Like, they either starve to death or do crime. And then the people that are monsters, I think, like, those need to be locked up. And they need to be locked up because you need to separate them from civilized society. It's not about rehabilitation. It's about, like, well, they're monsters. And it's not fair for someone that's law-abiding to have to worry about, you know, someone harming their daughter or their close one. And so, like, you lock them up forever and throw away the key. Like, there's no hope for them. Right? So, like, my judicial version is a little bit more nuanced. But if you think about it, like, from medieval time period in Europe, and even today in other parts of the world that we still consider civilized, like, for instance, Saudi Arabia and shit, corporal punishment works. And if you ask me, it's like, okay, well, let's say I committed a crime. Do I want 1 year in prison or do I want 10 lashes? I'll fucking take the 10 lashes any day. Right? But like, for some reason, it was decided that the current system is better. And the current system wasn't done with the scientific method or experimentation. It's like, well, no, we inherited it. And so it is what it is. If they can't be rehabilitated and they can't trust to be in society, they get the wool. The problem is, like, I wouldn't trust Romanian judges to decide life and death. Like, I don't know. Would you trust American judges to make decisions based on life and death? Serious question. Like, do you think that they're... I mean, especially after recent judges, right? Like, recent judgments that were passed in the U.S., would you trust an American judge to make these decisions, to make these calls? I don't believe that the second opportunity, well, you don't have to believe it. Like, you don't have to take it on faith. But there's, like, many criminals that committed one crime and then reintegrated. And by the way, people grow out of crime. Like, I don't know if this is discussed. But, like, for instance, violent criminals. Do you think a 50-year-old is going to commit violent crimes? Like, usually, especially men, right? When they reach a certain age, when they're 50, 60, they just stop committing violent crime. They grow out of it. They commit other crimes. Like, for instance, but even with other crimes, like, usually you won't see a 50-year-old that's a scammer. Like, men are very aggressive and adventurous when they're young, but when they grow older, they calm the fuck down. Given the Derek Chauvin case, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of examples, and this is why I don't agree with the death penalty. This is also assuming that we know they did it. Yeah, but like, this is not realistic speaking, right? Like realistically, you genuinely don't know for sure, and you have to defer it to a judge.
Like, I mean, but that's not a lot. There's not a lot of them. There's a lot of guys that don't like fat chicks. There's probably more of them that do. Yeah.
I by the way, like even the guys that like fat chicks, there's still a limit. It's kind of like, you know, I like big tits, but I have seen monstrosities, and I'm like, okay, well that's a little bit too big for me.
I know.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died. You ready to get supersized? She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
I actually saw this on Twitter, and people were making fun. I think it's Blair White, right? People were making, well, were attacking her, were criticizing her, for saying, "Oh, you're happy that these people." No, it's not about that. It's not about happiness. I genuinely don't care. Like seriously, when it's about people from across the continent that I don't know, like my empathy is just so much. I'm not saying that I'm happy. It's like neutral statement. It's like if you tell me that there was a storm in Japan, it's like, okay. You know, that type of thing. The problem that I have is that they were encouraging this lifestyle. That's the issue. It's like, okay, you want to live like this. I already have my opinions on it. I don't know why you're trying to influence me, but all right. However, you're trying to promote this to other people. Now it does affect me. Now my son can probably watch you. And they may say, oh, well, hold on, you know, like, this is a great lifestyle. And it's not. And by the way, like, I'm a little bit chubby as well. But I went on a diet the moment that I realized, oh, I can't get up a flight of stairs without gasping for breath.
Join me.
Jesus, 33 and 37.
On my fat positive radio show.
I was expecting something different to happen with that share.
To be fair, it's April 2022. Right? That there was something in 2020 which may have influenced the comorbidity.
And I am disappointed. I was, man.
Didn't last long because she died.
Unlike how Dove or the new wave of Victoria's Secret wants you to believe, healthy beauty does not come at every size.
Well, the reason why they do this is because, so you have to understand that there's a lot of these girls, and like I think that women do this a lot. One of the sickest things that I think girls do is they like gassing up fat girls and making them feel good about themselves.
I think so too. I genuinely think so too. Like if beauty is about evolution, right? Like if you have the beauty, it's more likely that you pass on your genes. That it's like a subconscious strategy of trying to take down the competition. It's like China pushing ESG on the West. And they're saying, yeah, ESG is good. Do it. Why do they do that? Specifically so they fail. And so, like, if you subconsciously, like, tell other people, oh, yeah, no, like, it's great what you're doing. Keep it up. Right? Like I think Asmongold is onto something.
But I think that the reason why is simply because they don't feel like they're in competition with these girls, so they can do it comfortably. That's the reason why. So they gas them up, and then they end up dying.
Certainly not at a lot of the socially noble, body-positive plus sizes. Yet it is absolutely not wholesome to point that out. So much corporate glorification has been done to powder the fat elephant.
Yeah, see, I mean, look. I don't care how she lives. She's not my grandma. She's not related to me. She's not my friend or anything. But the question is, would I like to look like that? And the answer is, it's not just the aspect. It's not just the aesthetic. But, like, imagine can you even go up a flight of stairs without feeling that you're gasping for breath? Like, imagine getting into the bathtub or the shower, right? Now, again, if someone does this to themselves, it's fine. You know, it doesn't affect me at all. But if they want me to believe that this is okay, now it's affecting me. If you're promoting this to other people and you're saying it's desirable and you're gaslighting, now it's a problem. If you just shut up and you do your thing, okay, fine, you know, you're doing your thing. But if you start advocating for this, and again, I don't know about this lady, like if there are people that have medical conditions. I'm aware of that, you know? But do all have the medical condition? Does every single one have the medical condition, right? Like, that's the problem.
I mean, this is just fetish shit, right? I mean, like, there's all kinds of weird shit like this. I wouldn't even really think much about this.
That obesity is in fact a disease, not a bragging point. But corporations don't want you to get well because there is a gold mine in fatness.
Think about how many McDonald's there are. There's so many McDonald's.
Well, it's the same with trans issues, right? It's when something becomes profitable, it gets pushed. Like, this is something that I know there's a lot of Americans haven't figured out yet. Corporations don't push what's moral. They don't fucking care. If something is profitable, not only will they make it moral, but they will make it immoral to criticize it. Right? So like vaccines, for instance. It's immoral to criticize them. Fat acceptance, it's immoral to criticize it. Trans issues, it's immoral. Why? Is it because like they legitimately? No, it's because it's profitable. Regardless if it's true or not. Like maybe some of these things are true, right? Like some vaccines are good. But like they will make it so that no, even if there was a vaccine that's bad, they would still make it immoral for you to criticize it. Why? Because it's profitable. It's a product that people don't have to buy. It's government that buys it for them. And so it's guaranteed profits. And you can probably raise the price and make it more expensive than it is because you know it's a guaranteed sale. And so, they will push it no matter what. They will make it moral. How to make any conservative anti-death penalty? What if they sought it for Kyle Rittenhouse or Daniel Penny? Yeah, well, it's pretty much what I did, right? It's not like something that I did in order to debunk the conservatives. It's something that I genuinely believe. Why would you allow life and death in the hands of judges that you know are making bad decisions? And you know they're not perfect, right? Like I see conservatives all the time criticizing judges on Twitter. And you want the same people to decide over life and death? Really? I mean, okay, you know, hot take. What can I say? Shit, we didn't go into the girl with the car thing, did we?
It is. Oh, shit.
And deteriorating health as the ideal in order to sell more of your processed foods because their beautiful bodies deserve more. Has body positivity, a movement intended to uplift women, become...
It's all women. That's what it's all about.
That's actually, you know, he does have a point. You rarely see men pulling this shit, right? Like, you rarely see... And it's not even about fat. Like, Peter Dinklage. You don't see Peter Dinklage saying, beauty at any height. Like, you don't see Peter Dinklage going out and talking about how short people require more respect because short is beautiful and blah, blah, blah. You don't see that, do you? Interesting. And about fat people, right, that are men. I mean, we do have a couple of them. We got Boogie, right? We got Wings of Liberty. We got Nicocado, Avocado, right? None of them go out and say that they're sexy, that they're hot. I'm just saying, you know, and they're not complaining about, oh, I went into an airplane and the other guy next to me complained that I'm taking too much space and shit. What is short in my country? I don't fucking know. I don't know the statistic. People that are shorter than me, definitely. Anyway, right, I think I'll end the show here. I didn't actually get to talk about what I wanted to talk about, so I'll make a video on my other channel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the super chats. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.